Welcome, sports fans. Welcome back to another very special episode. I'm your host, Joe Mar,
I'm Rush.
and this is the Side That Sports TV, the place you guys come to get the best, most interesting, and everything sports topics, discussions, and debates on the internet.
Yes, but before we get into today's video, don't forget to like this one. Leave a comment and subscribe to this or that Sports TV. And do one more thing first.
Share the video to at least 10 people, then sure to get us 6 subscribers because each and every one of you guys can manage to do that. Do you know how many subscribers that get at the end of the day, people?
Well, you probably here to talk about schoolboy football.
I can say I represent, one of my alma mater. You never quite got through
Which
the
school,
second one. You mean
Which school?
When I say the big gold star, say a 1 star, and I'm ready with high school. That's the little
One
sense.
star.
Yeah.
What does star mean? Let me see if you pay attention. That's what the crest mean.
When I say
Tell them about the crest.
when I say the 1 gold star,
Yeah.
say a 1 star. And
Okay.
that's another because when I say that your light will shine, you saw the bright light will shine. You get
Wait,
me?
pay attention to the
Shine,
devotion thing.
shine.
I might explain that.
Make up that still.
You make up that?
Yeah,
That could have worked still.
It
I could have worked still, alright?
I never really make it to the second round, but
Yeah.
we move.
We move. We're going to talk about the second round fixtures, the teams that made it out, and see what we're expecting going forward in competition. But before we get to that, let's have a little reason. Because something come to me today. Obviously, it's not as entertaining as last year, not as competitive as last year. Definitely not at the top. But I want to ask you a question.
I feel it as competitive.
Let me have an ask you right now. No, I'm not talking about the competition. What I'm going to say is won't be as the conversation won't be as good as last year.
Alright.
But who are the best players in the Manning Cup? I remember last year we did a whole video to that. This year we didn't even know if
It never even competitive last year.
no, that's what I said. Definitely not at the top, but down the rest of the list,
Yeah.
it was
Well, this year, let's just face it. The 3 best players in last year's Manning Cup, Romain Blake, Sakon Satchel, and Dijon Richards. I think
are all
those 3.
are all now in professional setup.
Yeah, and I think those 3 were a cut above everybody else. I think it's fair to say. What I can say definitively is that there's nobody in this year's Manning Cup that comes close to that level.
Nobody that comes close to the maybe the top 5 that we had last year. You think about Brandon Mitchell is also in a professional setup right now. You think about people like Kevin Wills, who's also, a lot of the people that stand out last year, Macon Aldridge.
Yeah.
So it's hard for anybody right now in this year's competition to break into the top 5 of last year's competition. But let's see some of the names. Obviously, Brian Burkett is still there and ripping up Manning Cup.
Man, no, in his last season of the Manning Cup, so I think this is his season. And I think maybe he would have something to say about what we just said just now. Because he and his entourage, his group, his support system, his dad is a big part of who he is as a footballer, firmly believes that he's in the same class of the aforementioned 3.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily think that he has broken into that ilk, but a level below that, last season Brian Burkett would have been a level below that.
Yeah, and even right now, if I just obviously we haven't seen every team, but most of the teams that have made it to the second round, we've seen whether it be on matches on TV or whatever, or in the Sportsmax app. But we've seen most of them, and we know what most of them have to offer. Brian Burkett possibly is the best player in the Manning Cup this year.
I think this season he definitely has a strong claim to be the best player in the Manning
You
Cup.
can't go 3D without saying Brian Burkett's name.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, George's in and of itself as a unit, a very powerful unit. But I think another one of possibly the top 3 best players in the competition this season, Adrian
Reed.
But I think Brian Burkett, this is his season where he will be trying to make that claim.
Yeah.
He believes that he's as good as the Romain Blakes and the Shakon Satchels of the world, and even the Dijon Richards of the world.
And going under the radar, but not just as, but as close as they can get to being as prolific as they were last year, because he's scoring double digits goals. He's almost at 20. He's scoring a lot of goals this year, and obviously George is in a group where they're supposed to beat a lot of teams by a lot of goals, but so were the teams last year. So Brian Burkett, man, I have to put him up there. As I said, Adrian Reed, I have to put him up there too. Other players that come to mind, I think about Mona Akim Bernard, who has to be one of the best players in the competition, regardless of position.
Last year, I think, was also one of the best players in the competition. I think right on par with a Brian Burkett
Mhm.
in that same
Yeah.
group, right below the top three,
Mhm.
top four. I think Hakeem Bernard has to be in that group right below the top three last season, which, as I said, will be a standard as we speak about the Manning Cup going forward into the second round nitty-gritty of things. I think the three, Blake, Satchel, and Richard, sorry, are the three that will be the standard, that will be comparing the top level of football.
Maybe a bit
going
unfair,
forward.
but that should be the level that we want to see.
That's nobody will reach that standard.
Not
Which is
for
why
now.
on a
Not for now.
scale you have the highest level and then you have lower levels.
Yeah.
And I think Whisper, Satchel, and Romain Blake are at the top end of
Yeah.
the scale. Obviously, Whisper being at the extreme top. And I think this is the measure that we'll be using to gauge the players going to the second round. And I think Hakeem Bernard, definitely proved himself to be a good player last year. Definitely had a lot of weaknesses and a lot of things that we could pinpoint. He wasn't as, I think, fit as he is right now. Physically demanding, like a big player, but he used that to his advantage. Technically, he left a lot to be desired, but was still one of the best in the competition. As I know, I've seen him a few times, and he's really worked on a lot of his weaknesses from last season.
Yeah.
It's as though Craig would have gotten in somebody to work with him, through the half season. But yeah, Hakeem Bernard, a solid player this season. I think he's made a massive jump, and he's one of the players that will be in that upper echelon of footballers.
Mhm.
Not much to say about it yet. He's not gotten a chance to really prove that he is on that level, and now is where we really get the chance.
Yeah, man. Competition. A lot of people say the competition just start.
Yeah, it starts on Wednesday.
It starts on Wednesday. No, another player I'm going to throw there, maybe two. From stats, Alex Xavier Gooden and Richard Livingston. Especially Alex Xavier Gooden in this more competitive part of the season. I want to see him take another step from last year. Obviously, one of the better defenders last year. I want to see him go out there and say, I'm the best defender in the Manning Cup. I really want to see that. Richard Livingston does what it says on the whenever if he was a product and he had a label on the back, whenever you look on it, whatever it says on the back is what you're going to get from Richard Livingston on every single match day. So he's a player that I like just because he's so composed. Obviously, you're not going to see much. You're not going to see anything special. You're not going to see much flair, as I said. But he's going to do the simple things well, and he's going to do it consistently.
Yeah, a very disciplined player, a good leader. He possesses some technical traits.
Yeah.
He's on a lot of their
and this is the time to show it. Now we'll see whenever he comes up against it. I think they have KT next year. We'll come up against the JC or the next or the quarterfinal round. That's when we will really see who is a cut above the rest. But those are two players that I will definitely throw into the hat. We got to Heidel. I would think about players like Michael Forbes. I think they're number 5. Impressed with that kid every single time I've seen him. And they're maestro in the midfield. International that plays for Jamaica. So a lot of players out there. Ronaldo Bar. Obviously, we don't. As I said, we don't want to match them up with the talents from last year because it would be so hard to match that. But we have some good players this year. We have some good players in the Manning Cup, and this is where obviously last year the Manning Cup, dare I say, it was built on the backs of Richard. Everybody came out to see that kid whenever he plays. Exactly. So it's hard to replicate that, but at the same time, some good talent. Enough of that. Obviously, going forward, we'd have much more to say, and these players will stand out more. But let's move on. Second round time. What you say? Ready for it?
Been ready, bro.
Yes, sir. Been ready. Still ready?
Yeah.
My father. Make us see what we go on then. All right. So these are one sec my paper. So
Fixtures.
these are the fixtures. Before we even get to the
show them the
fixtures, let's
matchup.
talk about the matchups and how they came to the matchups. Obviously, I explained it last year. Points were given. They work on a point system. Points were given based on different criterias. Where you finished last year, how you performed this year, all of that. So they took into account last year's competition, this year's competition. Our defending champions, obviously Jamaica College, they are the number 2 seed actually. Because it had a lot to do with everything else. Obviously, they lost a game to Tivoli because of some nuance on the day. Stats, number 1 seed, they were a finalist from last year, and coming into the second round, they are the best team right now. So on paper at least, obviously football isn't played on paper, but they are a zone winner, so they got 6 points right there, and finalists 4 points. Obviously, JC defending champions 5 points, zone winners 6 points. Stats edge them based on the number of wins, and that's why I like this, because then imagine if both teams needed something to separate them.
Yeah.
You would need to have something that you can explain, a number of wins, tangible evidence that you can explain, finalists, defending champions, something that you can explain, rather than just saying, oh, them upon 9 points, then upon 9 points. Oh, we tell the difference. In groups that.
As I said, it's a big number that they use and then calculate all the numbers, making it not as difficult.
And the good thing is goal difference not come into play when you get the points. Obviously, a goal difference is listed on the next slide if it was to come to a tiebreaker, but in terms of coming up with the point system,
Yeah.
they're not taking goal difference until the end, because teams are in groups that some groups are easier than some. Let's just face it.
That's just it.
So let's go down the list. I'm going to give you the 16 teams in the order that they're ranked. Starts Jamaica College, Mona High, St. George's College, Kingston College, Haile Selassie High. Also have a top player. Wolmer's Boys, Excelsior High, Hydel, St. Catherine High, Tivoli Gardens High, Campion College, St. Jago High, Jonathan Grant, Kingston Technical, and Eltham.
Eltham on the last day edged out Kingston Technical. So it was Eltham in the 15th seed, KT in the 16th seed.
Mm-hmm. And they just they push them up. But what caused that? They got a win that they weren't supposed to,
Yeah. And I'm not sure what caused,
because they were both third place.
Yeah. I think Eltham got the best third place.
Mm-hmm. But let's look.
We have to find out why
goals for, goal against.
There was something that, so this graphic is obviously not updated. There was something that would have led.
No, this is the latest graphic as of the 21st.
See? We see.
So the match.
There was something there was something that went amiss.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. So I'm not exactly sure why KT ended up being the last seed, but that was it. Or maybe it was something to do with the groupings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jamaica College was in Kingston Technical Zone. Right.
Oh, so that's why they couldn't.
Yeah.
Alright, makes sense. That makes sense. So this is the updated version, people. And the only reason why the 16 team is not playing against the number 1 team is because, as you said, KT was in JC's group.
Yeah, so they must have mixed up that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so let's look at the games. Some very good games in there. Let's talk about the first one. Stats versus Kingston Technical. 2 good teams. Stats top in their group. KT in a very competitive group with Tivoli and JC. Still managing to come out of that group. Still putting up some good performances against I can't even say the 2 better teams because they got the better of Tivoli on one of the occasions. So, how do you feel about this game? Stats versus KT. I think this will be a good one.
I think Stats will have KT's number.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately so. I think KT will make a big run for the World Cup.
Right.
They'll definitely be in and making a loud shout for the World Cup. Because KT have a unfortunate match.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Kingston Technical, I can never discount this Stats team right now. And history tells us that Stats will make it to at least the semi-finals.
In addition to the fact that Stats
they are a better team. Don't get me wrong.
Very good team.
Well coached team, good team. But if I was just looking at history and what is supposed to happen based on trend, Stats is supposed to make it to the semi-finals. Just write it down right now. Stats are go semi-finals until they prove otherwise. So after Stats beating Kingston Technical on the day, Philip Williams will always give a brother the credit. He knows what he's doing. He gets his team to play the way he wants them to play. Unfortunate in the finals last year, but this year they should have something more to say about that. And I have a sneaky feeling Stats can go all the way. But a good game, as I say. I'm also predicting Stats to beat KT. Not gonna do a score prediction. Not gonna do all of that. But it's a 2-legged tie, people. We'll get to the fixtures after this one. Again, Stats should beat KT.
Yeah.
The experts' advice. The experts'
Take it from us.
Alright, JC versus Eltham. Not a glamorous one,
Eltham,
but
yeah.
Eltham put up a good fight in their group. They were in Haile Selassie group, if I'm not mistaken. And
this is the most lopsided fixture of the second round.
Bro, I'm not gonna tell a lie. I'm not say Eltham. But obviously, Haile Selassie's group was not a big group with a lot of strong teams. Eltham may have gotten lucky. I don't want to discount them. I definitely want to see at least one of them game. But again, history and trend tells us that JC is going to beat Eltham and make it to the semi-final.
Yeah, in addition to the fact that
JC's this.
Eltham eats out of their group, which wasn't as strong a group as the group that KT was in. So I definitely have much more respect for the Kingston technical team than the Eltham team.
Right.
Considering the group that KT found themselves in and how they conducted themselves in the group. The way they pushed JC, the way they pushed Tivoli, managing to beat Tivoli as he says. Eltham weren't as convincing. And Jamaica College were their usual Jamaica College, coming off of an 8-0 thrashing of of Meadowbrook High School, you know. So yeah, this is the most lopsided fixture in the second round, and JC will make light work of it.
They should. Jamaica College to beat Eltham. I also agree with that one. Mona versus Jonathan Grant.
The second most lopsided.
Second most, I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I have to say something about Mona. Somehow I'm not as convinced as I was last year. You know, I was watching Guna's content on the Mona versus St. Catherine game. He did a match day vlog and obviously sneak some highlights in there. I love it. That's what we do also. Mona just doesn't. They just don't look as convincing as last year. They lack the teeth that they had last year, the bite. They lack the defensive presence that they had last year. Obviously, their midfield.
One thing I'll say though is that Mona looks more gritty this year though.
Yeah. They fight a bit more.
And I think Mona is better led this year.
I just think from a quality perspective.
I do think Denzel McKenzie coming into his own is a better leader than Zane Pinnacles. You know, Dante Peralta, a leader last year, I think he's 1 year older and he's more experienced. I think Akeem Bernard now understands his...
Same leader but a better leader.
Yeah.
Same player but a better leader.
Understands his role more as a leader. I think he's taken leadership more seriously this year. And Akeem Bernard has also become a much better player, just like Denzel Washington McKenzie. And it's clear how well this team is being led on the field by the types of things that they've done when I've seen them play and how they managed to grind out results. And I think that is something that they'll do differently than they did last year. I think they're more of a grinding team this year. Last year,
the quality overwhelmed
last year,
most of the teams.
It was more a Rolls Royce type of team. This year, I think it's a Jeep Wrangler type of team. So still very good quality, not as high as it was last year, but I think definitely a more durable and a more physically and mentally tough team than it was last year. And that is attributed to not having the quality that they did last year. So they have to rely on fight, they have to rely on heart, they have to rely on energy, they have to rely on leadership. And I think that's why Mona High School, though not as much of a Rolls Royce team as they were last year, I think it's an even tougher team this year.
Yeah.
Might go further.
They may be a bit harder to beat just because of how resilient they are. But as I say,
so experienced. This is the most experienced they've ever been.
Yeah, obviously they can't field a lot of players that they have at the school because of the quota rule and all of that. But yeah, Mona should get the better of Jonathan Grant. And Jonathan Grant again making it to the second round. The local draw it didn't favour them this year, but I'm going for Mona. People, tell us what you think in the comment section. Obviously talk to us in the live chat. And before we continue, I think we're 6 subscribers away from 8,000. Why? I don't know.
It was 5 when I checked last night.
It bothers me.
We were losing subscribers.
Yeah, maybe we did. Maybe my match just half again. Let's see. I don't like it. Yeah. We're 6 subscribers away from 8,000.
So people
I don't like it. I don't like it. Where you gonna do? Where do I?
I don't know, bro.
Where you gonna see her off in the road and make them unsubscribe?
Cause me as a youth still in the road, I tell you the truth, you know. Me tell them keep them subscribed still.
I wanna go keep them subscribed still.
But people, you're watching this video right now, you're not subscribed and you like the content.
6 stars?
Just subscribe now.
6? I don't know why that bother me, brother. I just feel like just subscribe just for the fun. If I say 6 subscribers left, you have to subscribe, man. You have to do it. Get us to 8,000. But let's continue. St. George's College versus St. Jago High will be a good game.
No, the matches start yet. Good. And you know what, bro?
I know, I don't think I game ever close.
No, but you know what? It makes sense. The top 3, KT is a different matter, but JC Eltham, Mona, Jonathan Grant. So, where say George's Jago.
Everything else competitive, you know. Well, me not accept this one. Everything under it. Bro, I think George is a big side, you know. I just feel like George is gonna beat up St. Jago. Honestly.
Feels that be like work?
Yeah, dog. St. Jago a good team and they did well in their group. Obviously, Wolmer's gave them a run for their money. But this St. George's team, I can't say nothing bad about them. Now I've watched them a couple times now and every time I see them, I'm impressed. I don't see them making a lot of mistakes.
One thing,
Goals come like clockwork.
One thing Georges need not do is to give away free kicks around the box because Murray, their goalkeeper,
Yes,
what the boss said, my,
Yeah.
Jay Williams.
What?
And the call, Murray, the JC goalkeeper scoring a stunning free kick.
Against Fulmas.
But I just did have to
The
put
Jago.
that in because big up to Bobby same way on the call. It was very, very well done. But besides that, as I said, Georges versus Jago should be light work for Georges. But
Scoring the second most goals in the first round. I was just looking at the numbers. Stats scored 48 goals. They scored 47. Obviously they conceded 5. Stats conceded 2. Man, now I said nothing bad about St. George's. I honestly believe. I'm not gonna say it again. I said it last video. I'm not gonna say it again. George's big side. I can't say nothing bad about them. They're not gonna beat Jago. Both legs.
yeah.
Straight up. This is the next match that is going to be a good match, not because of how good the quality is, but how similar. Not how good. The quality is similar, but I'm not gonna say a high-end quality. But this game should be good. Champion versus Kingston College.
Differing game styles. Champion are really the
They also grind out results.
Yeah. Score one and lock shot.
Yeah, KC like to play football with
Yeah.
them opponents.
Yeah.
But I believe that game are close.
It's going to be the contrasting styles are going to be interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, a really, really good one. KC, obviously, Coach Vassell. People, I apologize. We were supposed to bring you guys a KC video. Files got corrupted. You see me? But yeah, Coach Vassell, we spoke to him and he said that, this is a process. We'll come at him overall KC. Connected the programs. And this is supposed to be a stepping stone for next year and the year after that. I think he mentioned 3 years getting to the point where they want to get to. I think they would like this matchup though.
What's up with teams and 3-year plans? You've heard that in so many instances.
What's
up with the number 3?
Bro, they buy themselves time, dog.
3 years. Why
They buy themselves
why
time,
is
bro.
3 the number?
They buy themselves time. And I saw the Arteta method, dog, and the Pep Guardiola method. When them come and say, don't expect nothing from me this year. But obviously, if they get there, they're going to send me a big coach. They would like this matchup though.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe they frown upon this one. Champion is not the champion of years past. But
year past.
no, not even year past. Champion now normally light work, soft soap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
Yeah.
thought you meant last season, which is why they would have
They're
liked
closer
the
to last
matchup,
season than to
Yeah.
when we did the high school.
But they would have liked the matchup, yeah.
Yeah, they like this
Better
one.
than they would
Like last year. For
year.
sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, for sure. Me have KC.
Yes, yeah.
I have
So I
KC
think
though.
KC, based on what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
them show me so them have just enough quality and more than enough heart to push through and win matches that they are supposed to win or they're maybe supposed to win.
Yeah, don't consider that a goals though. Obviously, it's weird to understand stuff like that because of the groups and so the most of the groups are top heavy. But I've seen them.
Champion will make it hard. That's all I know.
Yeah. Kudos to the champion program making it to the second round yet again. They both in the second round last year. Obviously, want to take it a step further, and they told us, we lose players, but we still are gonna do it, and they are there.
Champion and next big shout for the work.
Yeah. Waka Cup are gonna be good this year.
So far, champion and KT.
Yeah.
Big shout for the Waka Cup.
All right, the next fixture we have Haile Selassie versus Tivoli Gardens. And obviously the names are not as glamorous, but I think this will probably be the game of the second round.
You think so? I think the one below it might be.
Woolmans versus Catherine.
Yeah. But
Oh, come we are going for the we're not gonna say no name, but why we never picked up the big name team then?
because the big name teams
Have easy matches.
did what they were supposed to do in the first round and got seeded very well.
But like Haile Selassie versus Tivoli Gardens,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
hard for
going
me to pick a winner.
That's going to be a tough one.
It's hard for me to pick a winner.
Haile Selassie
I feel like Haile Selassie.
Haile Selassie played so well in their first round, but because them never have the defending champion 5 points are coming to it, or the finals 4 points are coming to it, or the the third place and the fourth place points coming into it.
Mhm.
That cost them some points.
Yeah.
Because like JC and Stats, they already started ahead of the 8 ball. They already started way more advanced than everybody else. Haile Selassie came in, they did the work that they were supposed to do, but because they weren't that good last season, that's why they ended up with such a tough fixture. And God knows, Haile Selassie might find themselves in the Waka Cup.
When you think about it, hey, make it one step further last year, and you never know where you would have been this year.
Yeah.
You think about it, points don't start until the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So had they just made it to the quarterfinals, who knows, they probably would have had 14 points and have a better fixture. But Tivoli Gardens, they would have, right now I think they're feeling maybe some disappointment. Wanted to get one of the easier teams, but I feel like TG is a good team.
No,
I am going to
based on their zone, I think they got the easiest team they could have possibly gotten.
Mm.
You know, you think about it, they would have gotten.
We say Eltham didn't have them group, so them can't want
Yeah,
Eltham.
they have to get a first place team.
Right now, no. TG and Tivoli on the first place team. Tivoli in a JC group.
Yeah, so Tivoli had to get a first place.
Yeah, Tivoli. Yeah.
So of all the first place teams to get,
And the best third is Eltham was in their group. And KT.
They never dare get the best third.
Never that got. Yeah.
Top seed.
Yeah.
Haley Selassie now, they would have felt hard done by. They would have been like,
That's what I say.
just one more, but you talk about Tivoli. You said Tivoli would have been disappointed.
No, Haley Selassie I mean. Haley Selassie would have been disappointed.
Yeah, Haley Selassie must be feeling very hard done by getting Tivoli guys.
We're a top seed.
Yeah.
They're number 6 seed.
Yeah.
Obviously, 6 match up with what? 11.
Yeah.
But Tivoli guys is a good team. I'm telling you. But this will be a good game. Never get Haley Selassie the edge though. Linval Dixon, I really respect what he's doing down there. He's a resilient team
And he has
with some
star
good
players.
players. Yeah. Some really, really
He
good
has
players.
bona fide Manning Cup star players. I think two bona fide Manning Cup star players.
Yeah.
But nobody can really be bona fide stars until them score goals or
No is the
or
time.
make game winning saves in the second round.
Now is the time.
So we'll see.
Now is the time. This is where it obviously no money is there, but this is where the money is made. This is where you get, you know, and
You said
The
no
Raiders.
money is there. Some things I mean see this season.
mm,
It's the money I give
just
it.
left the part there, no? Yeah, why you not just left the part there?
So,
Why not just left the
you are
part there?
saying there's no money there.
Suppose-
I strongly disagree.
Suppose you have a detective now. Well, but it's a way, so I'll go through a content and say, alright, which game them did there and what them can see. Just load that, no man. Me not see nothing. See, I'm blind, brother.
Me city.
That my granny teach me.
Me city.
You never hear me say I'm blind.
I'm for see I'm blind.
And that me I try to tell you.
What figure of speech is that?
Yeah, ask me say.
It's an oxymoron.
But look at this.
I have to know that.
It's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
I ain't deal with oxymorons.
Yeah?
I ain't deal with oxymorons. If it don't make sense, you don't work with it.
No.
See, I'm blind here and
No,
deaf, brother.
yeah, mate. Oxymoron is a weird figure of speech.
What's your favorite figure speech?
Hyperbole.
You're an hyperbole, man, for sure. You're hyperbole, man,
For sure.
You're hyperbole. Alright.
A metaphor. It's
Metaphor kind of basic. I really love metaphor.
I'm a hard for the metaphor then, isn't me? A man like Peter Drury and some of them other Ricardo Chambers bad for metaphor them same way. You get me I say?
Mm.
So I might really like metaphor then. But hyperbole.
For sure. Alright. 2 more games. We have Wolmer's Boys versus St. Catherine. And you have this as your matchup for the second round.
Top
Why?
fixture, both teams
Mhm.
are good enough to top zones. It's just unfortunate so one did. Wolmer's Boys, solid team, historical team, have the name, have the fame, have the coach, have the players. This season Wolmer's really want to make a go at it. St. Catherine High School have history. It's not recent
Have the
history.
coach too.
Them have the coach, them have the name, them have the fame. This is the big matchup with 2 big schools, with 2 big programs, with 2 good teams. This is the marquee matchup of the second round, if you ask me.
Yes, and I don't think you will disappoint. I agree with you. 2 very good teams. I'm going to.
Bro, put Catherine in some other group and get Mona.
Yeah.
And them push Mona to the limit.
All the way.
And Mona was them only hiccup.
All the way. Obviously losing 2 games to Mona, but there's no shame in that.
No.
They are a semi-finalist from last year, so obviously no shame in that, as I said. But I'm going to give St. Catherine the edge, and this is the first time I'm giving a team on the right side edge.
Yeah, St. Catherine.
You have
Over
St. Catherine.
Wolmer's.
Yeah. That's it.
Tough.
It can go either way, no, I tell you the truth. On the day it can go either way, but I feel like St. Catherine do a quarter-final run downstairs, but even not go around here. And from what I saw from St. Catherine, they're a good team. I think they need some more goal scoring threat though, as a lot of these teams in the Manning Cup do. But I like St. Catherine over Wolmer's. It's so like I got Wolmer's. So switch it up.
Mega Wilmers, I
Mhm.
think Wilmers, they've been playing very well this season. They look current, they have a more mature and experienced team this season. They're in their second season. I think
Conceded 9 goals.
yeah, I think Wilmers are going to have what it takes to cross the line against Catherine. Unfortunately, Catherine, a big team, big coach, good history, player scoring goals, good defense, great goalkeeper. Nah,
Mekusi.
lastly, the matchup of the two best second place.
Yeah, Excelsior versus Heidel I.
This is the two best second place teams. And
This should also be a good game, though.
yeah,
It should also be a good game.
fair matchup.
Guess what I realized? Remember Vauxhall coach from last year, he's now the coach at Excelsior. Kian Bradrick. Taking him to the second round. That's not bad. Excelsior made the second round last year, didn't make it to the quarterfinals. So make us see what he can do. Make us see if the appointment is worth it. But unfortunately for them, this is going to be the second time
Bro,
they're picking a team on the right side of it.
Them end up in a zone with stats and them get matched up with Heidel. Ain't nothing you can do.
Yeah, and there again, there's no shame in losing to stats.
There's nothing.
Even though
you
stats
can
made
do.
light work of them, to be honest.
Yeah,
Especially in the
But,
first
but
game.
it was only stats who did.
Yeah.
So they convincingly ran to the zone. Then
Yeah.
they buck up on stats.
But that's what happened when you're a number 9 seed, though.
Buck up on stats.
Or a number 8 seed. That's what happened. You ever get number 9. And they are going to be the best of the rest.
Mm-hmm.
You see me? So, this is going to be another good game. Those bottom 3 games should be the most competitive in my eye.
Heidel was hard done by coming out second in the zone.
Heidel?
Was hard done
Why you
by
say that?
coming out second in their zone.
Why you say that?
Considering the whole losing to KC situation after convincingly. So, not hard done by coming second, but Heidel would feel like they'd be as good as any team on the other side of the bracket. They would feel like they are a first place caliber team.
And that result not been overturned, they probably would have gotten first place. Obviously, KC beat them once, but that was a 1-0 win, and they beat KC 4-1 or 2-1 or something like that. So I understand what you're saying.
And then KC would have gotten them with what they say is a weaker team.
Yeah.
So Heidel would feel like they should be on the left side of the bracket.
Even with a weaker team, though, even with a weaker team, I like Heidel, and I believe they should push some of these teams, especially. I have them making it to the quarterfinal round, and I think they will push some of those teams in the quarterfinal round. Again, though, I feel like they need a goal scorer, man. They need somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. Seen them a couple times now, and they create so many opportunities, but so many of their goals come from outside of the box, or one of their players doing something special. I want to see some more. They create chances, and they just don't finish them. I want to see some more of that from right there. But good team, and I have them edging Excelsior. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, Heidel will win. Heidel have very good talent. They rested a few of their players in the last game. So the last game beating Calabar, they'll be in better.
Yeah.
So Heidel will win. Heidel will beat Excelsior. Good run to Excelsior though, but I've seen Excelsior a couple of times on TV. They've been lucky to get a few TV games.
Mm-hmm.
They're good, but they're not Heidel.
They're not Heidel. So I'm edging Heidel. Let's look at the teams that we have making it through to the quarterfinal rounds real quick, and then we're going to look at the fixtures so that you guys know where to go and when to go. Obviously, all of this is subject to change. You know the weather already.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's look at who we are going to. So we have Stats beating KT.
Yeah.
We have JC beating Eltham.
Yeah.
We have Mona beating Jonathan Grant.
Yeah.
George is beating Jago.
So,
KC just edging champion. Haile Selassie just edging Tivoli, and for me. I have Catherine beating Wolmers. You have Wolmers beating Catherine, and we both have Heidel beating Excelsior. Feel like we can get this spot on this year?
Well, I think I'll be getting it spot on this year. Even if I go the right way and follow me.
We can see people. We'll come back and we'll tell you. Alright, so the games. And when
interesting way to set it out. First, it was supposed to be different venues and all games being played at Fixture. People are bad.
Is this?
People are bad.
1 second.
Yeah.
At 200 game played in Minecraft already? Because I think this is the match number. 208, and the man them can't make a show what I want. Go on still.
I was
go on, like.
I say it. So,
go on. Carry on.
Them show
You get dark,
50
dog.
a
You get dark.
You get me?
200 gameplay already, and the man they want some copyright with little
Them probably show 12.
Ray and Tay.
They probably show 12, 15.
And we that help them with the next 10
Don't
Guna would
mention-
help them with the next
Don't
15.
mention D Cup. Because display in a Manning Cup.
Yeah,
You
you
know
could
what?
probably be at
You
least
know
at
what?
least 300,
You
400.
don't want to see how much playing.
Wow. Carry on. Match
Yeah.
days.
So and then the show but 20 is so much. Not even.
Because them have 2 out of this
Yeah.
whole second row.
Out of the whole second round. Because for the first leg them have to go country.
Mhm.
So for the return leg them they are out. You
Mhm.
get me I say, but this is how we depend. So essentially people are bad, because people are saying them have all the same catching school them have play 3:30. So one of the people them wanna watch want to support the difference in catching schools. So it's to address that. And what they decided to do was double up on some fixtures, and have some fixtures, especially the St. Catherine teams them come out with this. And they're well represented in the second round, which big ups to them. It shows the Manning Cup is not just town, not just Kingston. And enough respect to that. So what they did, they doubled up on some games so people could get to watch more at the St. Catherine schools. So all the St. Catherine schools could have good support.
Mm-hmm.
So what you also see happening is that St. Catherine schools tended to come second there. So that's it. You get me? As I said, it ended up with playing where all of them playing the first fixture. Because we see where Elton, Catherine, Heidel, Jago, and Grant
5 of the 8.
all
5
come
of
in-
the 8 fixtures.
all coming second in their group, which means that they'll be playing on the first day. So
I think the 5 of the first 8 fixtures are played over
yeah.
St. Catherine.
So
Yeah, right.
So what them did do them double up some of them, and as you know, some of the fields are better than some. So that's where them make it. My other one though was Catherine. I don't see why they would have used Catherine when them have Prison Oval and Royal Lakes in the area. Why they would have choose St. Catherine High School field. That was odd to me. Rather than playing 2 at Royal Lakes.
How close is Eltham to St. Catherine versus to Royal Lakes? And that's what I think. That's probably what it get. Me I tell you right now, Royal Lakes are right. So Royal Lakes is on the edge of Portmore and Spanish Town.
And St. Catherine them did it.
St. Catherine them way in Spanish Town, and I'm assuming.
Eltham did it.
Yeah, so
Eltham
probably that's the thought process. But as I say, it could have. Royal Lakes is a very good surface by the standards that we're judging by. So it could get 2 games, but Excelsior versus Idle as a 1-3 o'clock game, it's fine. Maybe it's a supporting, maybe it's closer. In
Yeah.
fact, I think that's probably the case. The other games though, people on Wednesday. So all of the games are being played on Wednesday. The return legs are all playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now, at JC, KT versus Stats, Champion College versus KC.
And you would see this happen because JC have lights. So the
later
venues that can facilitate evening football, those matches will start at 2:30 and 4:30. Obviously,
So
the doubleheader at Catherine that can't facilitate that will be at 1 p.m. and 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, so the Prison Oval, the JC, the Stadium is
East.
I got to have later games.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Alright. So we have Edward Siaka Complex.
Tivoli Gardens play their home game.
Tivoli are playing.
That's it.
Yeah, good vibes. Did they play all their games at?
Edward Tiago.
I don't think so.
That's where Tivoli played. No, them play some of them high
They
school.
play some in high school.
Yeah, then they play with them high school. But Tivoli can't keep check out.
Yeah. You're right.
And
No
Tivoli-
man, I stand that man.
And Tivoli historically played at Tivoli Garden. I think Denham Town.
Denham also
yeah.
plays.
So this works.
Yeah. Alright. Eltham versus JC. And then St. Catherine versus Moormans. Both games at St. Catherine High. Why the Eltham versus JC, right. Maybe that's something, but that makes sense. Next games, Heidel versus Excelsior. Royal Lakes, that's the only game at Royal Lake. And then St. Jago versus STGC, and then Jonathan Grant versus Mona. That should be a good day of football overall. For a Prison Oval. On Wednesday now, do we now still have? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations. The TV games: Mona versus Jonathan Grant. Is this Mona's first TV game? I think Mona get more. So you go. Mona versus Jonathan Grant.
And the reason why they could do that at JC is simply Mona is right next to JC.
Yeah. So that's a
Those-
home game for
yeah,
Mona.
yeah.
That's a home game
Well,
for
it is
Mona.
a home game for Mona, but it still feels like.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of support, it
Yeah,
should be. Yeah. Mona should get their support.
Same with Haile Selassie.
Yeah.
Just at the stadium.
Yeah. And JC, playing at JC.
Yeah.
You know that I've already. George's Winchester Park versus Jago should be a good game. I guess everybody from town have to check out the game there. Should be a good one. KC versus Campion College. Haile Selassie versus Tivoli Gardenside. That should be a good day of football. Also, headache for the neutrals. I have to pick which one of them because you have 2 games going up at JC and a 2 good games. You have 2 games going at Stadium East and a 2 good games.
Yeah.
Then you have Michael. Michael will lose out. Me have to let you. That's not as glamorous. But then you have Georges that play down at Winchester. So I like a headache there. All good games in the second round. Loving it.
I'm trying to see how stats play Michael too. I'm trying to see how Michael makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Michael have a good feeling.
Michael far from stats too. Why stats never play over for them home ground? They might try
to get double header.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But why?
What's that?
If me a stats, me no want to play up.
Yeah, like why you take that from
the
me?
right beside of KT.
Yeah.
Michael the right side of KT. Me nah go
Just up the road,
for KT to play. My home game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they just wanted the double header. They just wanted double header. And then Haile Selassie.
So the KT
Haile
versus
Selassie.
Stats up there, JC. So
Haile Selassie can't
that
lose
way,
the game,
KT
yeah.
and Stats last out on home games. For this.
Yeah, but
This round.
KT can't play, no? Second round game can't play KT, bro.
No, but where KT play?
KT play down at them
Yeah,
school.
but me I say it's more appropriate if KT play football like Michael. Stats continue play a Boys Town.
Yeah. Although, as I say, it's a good feel because you could have then say them could have bring the Wolmer's and catching game go on Boys Town, but a 2 good feel. I just split them. I just split them because them bring. Me I say them bring the KT game, the Stats KT game. Come on, Michael.
Yeah, but
What wrong with the Boys Town?
The thing about it is, the second one is supposed to be a home and away type situation.
Should be.
So Wolmer's a play home.
I just double
This is
header.
where Wolmer's them not play all them football, but Michael is a home game for Wolmer's.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're right beside each other.
And them play games over there in first.
And then Stats play on a home field that's appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Both Stats and KT miss out on a home game, but KT end up kind of get back a home game when it should in fact be their away game. Stats just get them goals for 2 times.
Because the Excelsior got their 1 game at their school, so Stats could have get for them 1 game at their school. At Boys Town.
Sure.
Georges get for them 1 game at Winchester Park.
That's what
when them could have easily say Excelsior versus Hydel down at Winchester Park. You know, so I love it.
Stats and KT get.
And it can't be the feel of.
But more so
one.
Stats, because KT are gonna play a Michael in Stats his home game, and Michael is not very far away from it.
Yeah, obviously, disclaimer: the schedule is subject to change by the organizers. The games in blue can get a venue or date change, and the ones in yellow.
The games in blue meant that the venues have changed.
Have changed or can be changed.
Have changed.
Alright. Yellow live games. You know that already. So only two live games next week. Forward up, make sure we soon come talk to you. You know that already. Alright, let's wrap it up. Good second round if you ask me.
Yeah.
Good second round if you ask me. So now ball. Alright, are we that people? Are we that schoolboy football show second round on the way. Obviously we talk about who are the best players in the Money Cup this year. More hear the people have to say, let us know who are the best players in the Money Cup. Who is the best player? More hear that. That should be a good debate in the comment section. And if you like the video, don't forget to like the video. Leave a comment and subscribe to this Island Sports TV. And one more thing first though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, then try to get us 6 subscribers, because each and every one of you guys can manage to do that. You know how many subscribers that get us by the end of the day, people?
But for now, this was This or That Sports TV.
Oh my God.
Oops.